Actually, here's the thing. So, like Mumbai में ना awareness भी नहीं है for B.SC Psych. Even though every art student wants to go for Psych only.
But career scope अच्छा है इसका.
Career scope is good, especially abroad. But then right now it is a little bit problematic because it's more अभी mental health के लिए awareness India में अभी start हुई है.
Right.
So even everybody questions me on that कि तू बनेगी क्या आगे? Where will you get the money from?
So. Hi guys, welcome to NMIMS podcast. Today we have Shreya Jain and she is our Borivali branch student and she prepared for B.SC in Applied Psychology from NMIMS and there is an entrance exam for this. Very important why I am shooting this video. जितने लोगों को psychology के बारे में नहीं पता है from NMIMS, for that you don't have to write NPAT. They have their own exam. 50 marks का exam होता है. अगर आप psychology में interested हो, definitely you can apply for NMIMS if you are Mumbai based or near to Mumbai. Right. There is a one more college which is Christ, Bangalore. But अगर आप मुंबई से बैंगलोर नहीं जाना है तो you can take this course in NMIMS. ठीक है. बाकी की सारी चीजें Shreya will be guiding us and giving us brief information. So Shreya, very first, congratulations for your selection. So all the viewers, those who are watching this podcast, lots of information you will be getting from Shreya because Shreya have a work experience also and lots of things she has achieved. So one by one she will be sharing. So very first academic background, 10th में क्या percentage था, 12th में क्या percentage था और stream क्या थी और ये psychology में जाना है ये idea कैसे आया?
Okay, so going one by one, 10th में I had received, so I was from the COVID batch, so I didn't really have an exam, but I scored a 93.4 and 12th में I did write the exam and I scored 89.5. मेरा कल ही रीचेकिंग को दिया था तो वापस आया. I scored 89.5 and psychology. So here's the thing about me. I am also a professional content writer and like it runs in the blood in the family. So I've always been into reading and writing बचपन से. So I always had it कि I'll do literature or something like that. And then I got school में भी guidance भी वैसा. But then back in 7th grade, you know, some website or something I found this. I used to go to university websites back then and you know you research about courses. So I found something about psychology course and it felt very interesting to read whatever it was written. Okay. So I actually started reading about the course and whatever the program outcomes and the curriculum from different sorts of university websites and like from there gradually I started reading more, consuming more.
Indian university or outside abroad university?
Abroad. My dream पहले was 12th के बाद abroad. I was always that. Okay. So all the abroad universities and slowly from there I also read about Indian universities and I got to know about the psychology field का अभी फिलहाल position in India and I just you know very generally inclined more towards the psychological content. Okay. And तब से I just you know when I started reading I knew it that I want to do something in this field. I like it more than I like literature probably. Okay. So it is like your interest came because you hunt for the multiple university websites. Yes, and plus like so my school had this program called Manoeuvre. It's an organization. They basically provide psychometric tests and help you you know with your career. Okay. So we had career counseling available right from 6th grade. So after my tests and you know all the results that I got, I actually used to see my school counselor every week. They helped me a lot during school time with career stuff as well and with my general stuff as well. Okay. So I really like the sort of work they did and my entire information from psychology came from them. So then I'm grateful to God that I got the right guidance at the right time and my interest developed gradually.
Okay. Psychometric test is nothing but your personality test. Okay, simple, right?
Yeah, not exactly personality because I'm a psychology student. It was this specific test was more aptitude and interest based.
Okay.
Every test has different objective. For at that time, that test का objective था मेरा हर field में interest और aptitude थोड़ा basic में measure करना. Okay. And then they suggested 3 top career choices which would be good for me.
Okay. So it is different. Okay. Because when you go for the MBA, there is a first step comes for some of the colleges. There is a psychometric test. That is nothing but your
psychometric test is a very broad umbrella term. So every sort of psychological test that is trying to get some information out of you and is like an inventory comes under that term.
Okay. So NMIMS से psychology करना है. How you got to know about this?
Okay, so here's the thing. This course, B.SC Psychology course in NMIMS started like quite recently as compared to the other courses. जिसके अंदर NMIMS is very well established now. So B.SC Psychology in India, if as Sir spoke about, Christ is like the top one choice, and especially all the aspirants who must be knowing it, they know what I'm talking about, because they have been like. They have their department is much more. It was one of the first departments of B.SC Psych in India.
Okay.
So their department
in India.
Yeah, like the official first was the University of Calcutta, but B.SC Psych in Christ is like यहाँ का Harvard for यहाँ का Harvard for psychology, because they are that well established. They've been there for so long, and the curriculum is extremely good. Up until last year, they used to cover the entire 4 years ka honors B.SC Psych degree within 3 years. Now they've extended it 1 year, but it's great nonetheless. So looking at that, NMIMS started it 4 years ago, but even though it started 4 years ago, the department is very well established right now, which I got to know from all the seniors I spoke to within college.
Okay, you visited the college.
I didn't visit the college. I found out the people from LinkedIn. I used to go and search जो भी college में pursue कर रही थी, मैं उसके लोगों को ढूंढती थी LinkedIn पे, and I used to talk to the students who are right there present, because they are the best sources of information.
Correct.
Website तो कोई भी सब अपना content writers से लिखवाता है, मैं खुद लिखती हूँ. So everything is flowery on the website, but actually क्या चल रहा है, course कैसा चल रहा है, all the inside detail you need as a student. You'll get from this. So if anybody wants to explore, this is the best way to explore. Go find out people from LinkedIn, and if you're polite and professional, everybody will be willing to help you out. So I was actually searching on Google only. I tried searching for Google on Google itself. So so there are 2 colleges in Mumbai at present who offer B.SC Psych. One is NMIMS. It started 4 to 5 years ago around. So the department is very well established. But and then second is MITI. It started, I guess, 2 or 3 years. It started during the COVID time itself. The department started during the COVID time. The difference is NMIMS course is B.SC Applied Psychology, and MITI course is B.SC Psychology Honors, and it is for 4 years. As of now, NMIMS course is for 3 years. It focuses a bit more on the application side and applied branches rather than the theoretical branches, and it has more research work and lab work, as I read from the entire course curriculum. However, B.SC Psych Honors, as you know, is more like a broad thing, that too for 4 years. It's very much more theoretical.
And how you got to know about us, about Manoeuvre, for your preparation? So
for Manoeuvre, I got to know through a friend's reference, and also I was hunting for classes in my area in Borivali. I'm from the Borivali branch, because Manoeuvre was just opposite to the classes I was earlier visiting that I had found on Google. And I saw वहाँ पे. So I had also appeared for CUET, which is the requirement for MITI course, psychology course.
Right.
So yeah. And then coincidentally, when I spoke to my friend later, and she told me that she had prepped for her CET law exam through Manoeuvre. And because I had a personal reference, and I had a very good personal recommendation from her, that's why I joined Manoeuvre.
So how was your CUET experience? Share it.
CUET experience in terms of the coaching was exceptionally good. Like Manoeuvre prepared us very well with the resources, the faculty. We had great guidance, and so I started MITI. If everybody knows, MITI and NM College in Bombay announced in mid-March, almost late March, that they will be accepting CUET. So we barely had 2 months to prepare. But wo 2 months ke crash course mein bhi they prepared us very well. So Manoeuvre, hats off. But my overall experience with the exam, so I was on 30th May wala batch, the first shift. I personally felt that my paper was quite ridiculous. I'm not going to mince my words here. It was a little bit extremely unexpected, extremely ridiculous. I spoke to a lot of friends jinka exam पहले वाले shifts में हुआ था. Their papers still sounded quite reasonable to me, but हमारे में तो questions ही unexpected लाए थे.
Okay. तो CUET का paper थोड़ा unexpected.
मेरा paper unexpected गया था. बहुत ज़्यादा. It was not just me. My entire batch. So in one hall we were around 1,000 students. हम सबके face पे दहशत paper खत्म होने के बाद. We were ये कहाँ से आया करके. None of us even expected anything.
So what was your daily routine in terms of the preparation with respect to all the sections like maths, logic, English? Was there any routine you had made for your preparation?
So I hadn't made a specific routine for every section because CUET I gave general test. So usme section wise divided hai hi nahi. You don't know the weightage as well. There was no weightage given. So you had to study for everything.
Right.
And even with NMIMS entrance, they didn't give us any weightage. They had just given us the portion.
Sections, yeah.
Yeah. So and even the entrance was not section based. It was a complete mixed bag. So I had joined offline maneuver classes, so unki classes hote, so I used to come attend the classes, and like they had given us the strategy कि घर पे जाके practice book में से जो first 30 questions थे, I used to solve them on my own. The ones I didn't know, I used to get back with them. I used to try to get back with the same faculty who taught it to me within like 2 to 3 days itself, so that the concept is still fresh in my mind. I used to give the topic wise tests that are available on the portal. This was for logical reasoning and math especially. Now for GK and current affairs ke liye, since I was on a time crunch, I barely had 2 months to prepare. I used to just watch the weekly videos posted by Azad sir, the 30 questions every videos. I used to make sure I made handwritten notes. That is, I'm an art student, so I have written a lot in 2 years. So yeah. Also, one more thing I forgot to mention. If you are ideally looking for a B.SC psychology course, not a BA psychology, that is very different in Mumbai. If you're looking for B.SC psych, and in these 2 colleges, it would be better if you take math in your 11th, 12th. I mean, usually humanities students skip maths. But it will cost you in the entrance, especially CUET, that was 80% math focused. So if you are not used to doing math for 2 years and then अचानक से तुमको फिर वो pressure आता है, it will be downgrading on your will as well and just overall. But if you're used to 11th, 12th ka maths, I mean, if you get good guidance, you can do it. It's tough, but it's not that much.
But if you start your prior preparation, you can do it.
Aram se, like I know from my own batch, there were commerce students who had dropped math, and I was a humanities student who had taken math. And I know how difficult it was getting for them. Okay. Even though it was not the CUET ka maths was not the math that like 80% was not what we had studied in 11th and 12th. 11th and 12th is more geometry and calculus in arts and science, that is.
Right.
But yeah, the main reason being BSc Psych has a lot of statistics.
Okay.
In the curriculum. So if you're not used to these numbers and just handling numerical data, it gets a little. That's the advice I had received from my seniors. So that's why I went, and I was very happy because it was very useful in the entrance that I had math experience. Okay. So if you have the option that even if you're in 11th, my college allowed that if you wanted to switch, you could switch back in 12th. Usually colleges approve that.
Okay. NMIMS, I mean, have you heard about the placement? Like, are they giving placement also after this?
As of now, from what I got from my seniors, कि अभी इंडिया में साइकोलॉजी का एक ये बहुत सैड सॉरी सिचुएशन है कि इंटर्नशिप्स के लिए हमको पे करना पड़ता है सामने वाले को कि आप हमको इंटर्नशिप दे रहे हो और हमको सिखा रहे हो.
Okay.
हमको तो पैसे मिलते थे, would not pay money, we have to pay सामने से.
Okay.
So that's the sorry situation right now, and that's like वो बहुत ज़्यादा fraudulent चीजें भी होती है उसके वजह से. But from what the reviews I have received from my seniors, the faculty is industry professionals themselves who have switched to teaching ideally.
Okay.
So they have a lot of contacts within the industry. As of now, there are no official formal placements that take place at the end of the year.
Or you are not aware of?
I spoke abhi tak, so they said there's no placement like it is there for engineering and MBA and other courses as such. But you will get a good amount of personal references for internships. Okay. And being a psychology student in India right now, that's the best you can ask for.
Okay. Okay. And what are the career scope or the options one should have? Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I have researched quite well enough about it. Now, psychology extremely wide, and it's called a new age science. So there's a lot to be done here. The most famous one being clinical, but even though it's famous and if you like it, then so that's like the most popular and क्या बोलते हैं hyped one with mental health. Like अभी हमारे generation में mental health के लिए awareness भी है, so therapy and clinical psych is the most popular one. After clinical psych, I would say counseling, like school counseling and career counseling. उसके लिए भी awareness बहुत ज़्यादा है अभी. So that's the next. That's the one of the great options after doing a psychology degree. I mean, you have to do a master's anyway. So all these are the sorts of branches you can go for in your master's. Then industrial psychology, it is more like HR, but then a very much more psychologically optimized version of HR. Like if you are
right,
the big companies, the MNCs right now, they would actually be very interested in somebody who has a psychology degree and then an industrial psych degree to handle their human resources.
Right.
It's much more effective, especially with psychometric tests, as we said. And
yes.
So yeah, that is there. Education is always open, like both teaching. Especially in India, you do a master's, you do a UTGC, and you can get a job, very good paying job. That is like that is the common thing that most of the students go for right now. Apart from that, there is a lot of scope in research as well. And everyone, and then there are so many new upcoming branches like fashion psychology and travel psychology, and so if psychology will keep you on your toes with the amount of developments that's happening, that much I can promise.
Okay, so I think lots of information we have discussed, and those who are
also one more. Sorry to interrupt you. There is another. So basically, I am also interested in public policy. Like I had done a fellowship back in my 11th grade, and uske wajah se I got introduced to the entire public policy sphere in India, which is also a very good sphere if you're somebody who likes education and who likes psychology but doesn't actually want to go and become a teacher or teach in class and wants to do something new and different. Public policy is a great option, and I explore a lot. So I was like the different ministries we have in government right now, Ministry of Education and Women and Child Development. They have like a lot of public policy sort of openings where they do mention that a candidate with a background in psychology will be very much suitable for the role. So you can go.
Because you deal with the public, no?
Public, exactly.
Different mindset people, right?
Yeah, and even I know so many people who want to do UPSC actually, and they are pursuing a degree in psychology. Because public administration है वहाँ पे तुमको अलग-अलग type के लोगों से deal करना पड़ता है, from the grassroots to the higher ups. So a degree in psychology helps you a lot with that. And so so you can also, मतलब ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है, with a psych degree ना, here's the main thing, you can go anywhere you want, not exactly anywhere, because recently I also searched Purdue University, many people, the engineering aspirants for abroad, they must be knowing Purdue is a very famous university for engineering. They have AI psychology courses, both masters and PhD level. So it's like you don't need to be an engineer. If you can either be an engineer or you can have a degree in psych. But if you know even one or two programming languages, you can, in programming languages के लिए तुमको ऐसे engineering की degree होना जरूरी नहीं है, anybody can learn it. That's what I have heard from my engineering friends. So anybody who's interested in it, they can learn it. You can learn that one or two programming languages, and you can do a degree, that degree which combines both programming and computer languages and psych. And we know how booming AI is. So
there's a lot of scope.
There is a lot of scope. I mean, yeah, you will be a part of a revolution.
So after a bachelor for master, if you're planning, you can think about the TISS, Tata Institute of Social Science, which is in Mumbai. It is the best one if you want to go for the master. So
in India, that especially.
In India, obviously. So what are the career scope available in abroad? Have you hunt about it? Have you researched about it?
Abroad, clinical and counseling ka scope is exceptionally high. Like you will shortly get a job, but her country ka, especially with US, every state has a different regulation altogether. Like so becoming a counselor, like clinical psychologist, is a very long procedure like becoming a doctor. It's a very similar, very as strenuous of a procedure. So you have to do your bachelor's, you have to do your master's. They ideally prefer PhDs. Certain states do have that criteria that they want. If you want to be a practicing psychologist or a clinical therapist, you need a PhD and you need a license alag se.
Okay.
Even in India, to be a clinical psychologist, you need a bachelor's, you need a master's, and you need an MPhil. Masters and MPhil are different, and then you need to give the licensing exam.
Okay.
So it's a very long. It's almost like a medical degree without a medical degree. So yeah, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with humans and directly impacting their life.
Okay.
So clinical and counseling and abroad research is on a much better position as in India right now.
So India में धीरे-धीरे gradually
yeah, it's upcoming, but there is a lot of scope. All of us do believe that, but you have to be a little bit patient, and you need to love it that much to go deep into it.
So guys, lots of information we have discussed. So after watching this video, after watching this podcast, whatever thing you will be learning, do have your own research and then start thinking about the course, whether you want to go for the NMIMS, Christ or some other courses. But yeah, psychology is one of the upcoming domain or the field.
And also one more myth that I wanted to bust. I think abhi tak idea lag hi gaya hoga. I was from humanities and I'm still doing B.SC side. I have a lot of friends right now जो अभी मेरे साथ है मेरे batch में in NMIMS. They are a year elder to me.
Okay.
They knew about the course last year, but अभी हमारा तो major वही है कि science वाला करके कोई भी किधर भी जा सकता है. Commerce वाले people can come into arts, but they can't go into a science degree. And arts can only go into arts, but they can't go into another degree. That's not the case anymore with NEP and a lot of things coming in. New education policy coming in. So with B.SC Psych and NMIMS and both in Mitibai and even in Christ, there is no specific criteria. You can be from commerce degree, you can come from a commerce background as well. If you just I have one of my friends, she was my college boards ki science topper. She didn't have psychology as a subject and she didn't know that, she was not aware of it, but back like 6 months before boards she started reading about psychology, and then within 6 months she just completely changed her career path. And usko to 11 12 I had psych, so I had a very strong enough base. I studied to completely study for the entrance and the reference books they had given. She didn't have the base, and even after that CUET तो she cracked. Obviously उसके लिए तो psych का knowledge लगता चाहिए नहीं, but she still studied for the NMIMS entrance. I don't know within how much time frame, but not more than a month, I guess. But yeah, she studied from that reference book, and that reference book was very great. So if you're going for NMIMS, they give like instruction handouts mein they will mention your reference.
You can follow her on LinkedIn.
Definitely, I'll always reply. So yeah, they will give you. अभी इस साल का entrance का थोड़ा सा क्या बोलते हैं portion and everything was a little bit different than last year. So every year the criteria changes a little bit. So you have to keep constantly calling them or visit the center once, ideally like in the month of November, December, ideally, to just see कि इस साल क्या चल रहा है, because they told us about the entrance 15 days before my boards in Feb. Up until then I had visited and they had told me कि we will be considering boards marks.
Okay.
And then within 20 days they tell me कि no, we'll have a separate entrance.
Okay.
So it gets a little bit like that. And so you can be from any stream. If you really want to pursue psych, you can easily switch. There's no hard and fast criteria, but be prepared for a lot of biology while studying psych. So you just have to mentally be prepared to tackle whatever they give you. That's it. But yeah, there's no hard and fast rule, but ideally I would suggest कि math, again there is no rule for math as well. In fact, our entrance just had one math question and the calculator was allowed. So NMIMS ka, that is not CUET, that was completely math based and negative marking and no calculators. But I would personally suggest have math. Like right. Even if you're in 11, if you like, I'm pretty sure most colleges are cooperative, that if you want to switch within 1 year, you can. And like if you get like, you will be in for a lot of work time definitely, but yes, yeah, it will be helpful for you in the long run. And there was one, I think Manipal University, Jaipur campus. Even they have a B.SC Psych course that when I was exploring, but I didn't really. There's in Manipal as well. They have both in Manipal and Jaipur campus, but I was not really keen on going to Manipal.
Okay.
So there in Jaipur campus for B.SC Psych, they have a hard and fast criteria. You need to be from science.
And they have their own entrance?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
So
So for NMIMS, there is one more exam. I mean, NPAT is there. I mean, if you're planning your career into the BBA from NMIMS, then for that you have to write NPAT. Economics ko leke bhi you have to write NPAT, right? And for this psychology, there is no NPAT, so don't get confused कि भाई NPAT लिखना पड़ेगा, NPAT नहीं लिखना पड़ेगा. They have their own entrance exam जो कि 50 questions होते हैं, ठीक है.
And so like portion NPAT से काफी different है.
काफी different है and easy level का paper है, so don't need to worry about it. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say that exactly because it honestly, with every year, more people are getting aware.
हाँ, तो competition बढ़ेगा.
Competition बढ़ेगा. इस साल भी मतलब like मेरे batch में, I was so surprised कि within my class 3 to 5 people knew about it, and from my class in college itself, I have 2 people who are my batchmates now.
Okay.
That situation was different 2 years ago when I had just entered college.
Okay.
I knew about it तब से because I was researching, but nobody else knew about it. Everybody was like, हाँ, we'll do from. Everybody was like Xavier's. That's for a BA Psych. So yeah, every year the competition will increase because people will ideally aim at Christ, but then they will keep NMIMS as backup. So yeah, and yeah, last year they had it in, I mean, I read it on the website, they did have it in Bengaluru campus and Hyderabad campus as well.
NMIMS.
Yes, but this year say it's just in Navi Mumbai campus and Mumbai campus. They have increased the number of seats by 60 in both of these campuses than earlier, and they have taken it out from both the other campuses. So if you want to get into NMIMS, you will only have 2 campus ka option, Mumbai or Navi Mumbai. That's it. And if Miti Bai is just one place.
All the best.
And yeah, reach out to me on my LinkedIn at any time if you want.
ठीक है, चलो, all the best. Yeah, you also say all the best.
All the best.
Yeah.